Yeah.
All right. I'm going to call this meeting of the International Falls Economic Development Authority to order. Please note that the president, Mike Holden, is currently absent. The first item that we have on our agenda this evening is to administrate the oath of office for Commissioner Taylor, Commissioner Wagner, and Commissioner Bowler. If you guys want to just stand up, I think would be sufficient.
Yep. Thank you, Commissioner Grova. At this time, we have 3 new members of the commission as per the last election in November. And they are Pete Kaler, Tim Wagner, and Walt Bowler. So at this time, if you all raise your right hands and repeat after me, we'll read through the oath for the City of International Falls Economic Development Authority. I,
Tim Wagner, Pete Kaler,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Do solemnly swear that I'll support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Minnesota.
And faithfully and to the best of my ability.
And faithfully and to the best of my ability.
Discharge the duties of Commissioner with the International Falls Economic Development Authority.
Discharge the duties of Commissioner for the International Falls Economic Development Authority.
In and for the City of International Falls.
In and for the City of International Falls.
During my continuance in office.
During my continuance in office.
I further understand that service on this board may result in my receipt of confidential information.
I further understand that service on this board may result in my receipt of confidential information.
And agree that such information shall not be disclosed except as otherwise authorized.
And agree that such information shall not be disclosed except as otherwise authorized.
Excellent. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. We have some old business to attend to, which is some approval of minutes. We have minutes from the EDA minutes of October 17th. Chair would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion from newly sworn in Commissioner Wagner.
Newly sworn in Commissioner Bowler seconds.
Excellent. Now I don't even have to remember your name. All right, we have a motion and a second. Call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion carries 4-0. Next, we have the minutes of the September 26th, 2022 meeting. Chair would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I move.
We have a motion from newly sworn in Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, now you're just Commissioner Bowler. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion carries 4-0. Next, we have the special minutes of December 5th. Chair would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bowler. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Commissioner Taylor. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion carries 4-0. Anybody in audience have anything to bring forward? Hearing none, we'll go to accounts payable. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable as presented.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bowler. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Commissioner Wagner. Discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion carries 4-0. Reports. I don't believe we have any reports at this time. We'll go to election of officers. Currently, our officers for this board are the president is Mike Holden. I have been informed today that he is not interested in continuing as president. Our vice president is former Commissioner Joe Kraus. Our treasurer is former Commissioner Leon Beach. And assistant treasurer, I believe, is the city administrator, Betty Bergstrom, and the secretary is, the city administrator, which I believe that just ends up getting, assigned duties, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sorry.
So, we do need to appoint or elect tonight a president, a vice president, and a treasurer. So at this time, the chair would entertain a motion for nomination of president of the International Falls EDA.
Nominate Pete Taylor.
We have a nomination for Pete Taylor. Pete, do you accept?
I accept.
Okay. Commissioner Taylor accepts. Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
Are you sure?
All right, with no other nominations, chair would entertain a motion for unanimous ballot.
Make a motion for unanimous ballot. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes. Motion carries 4-0. Next, we go to the vice president. Chair would entertain a motion to nomination for vice president. Any nominations? Any nominations?
Nominate Walt.
We have a nomination for Walt Buller
From the West Ward.
from the West Ward of International Falls.
Yeah.
Walt Buller of the West Ward of International Falls, do you accept?
Yes, I will.
All right, we have a accepted nomination. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? With no other nominations, call the question.
Aye.
Aye. And I'll vote yes, motion carries 4-0. Next, we go to the treasurer. Chair would entertain a nomination
Commissioner?
for,
We didn't have a motion and a second on that.
well, we had a motion.
You have a motion for nomination, but you don't have a motion to approve,
Okay.
Wagner on that.
Oh, we have a motion for, Buller. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Taylor. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, call the question.
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
I will vote yes. We have 3 for the motion and 1 abstention.
I'm a little more obnoxious than you. I'm voting for myself.
All right, next.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Next we go to treasurer. Chair would entertain a motion, for, nomination of treasurer.
I nominate Tim Wagner.
We have a nomination for Tim Wagner. Do you accept?
Yeah.
Strong, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Buller. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes, motion carries 4-0. And next would be the assistant, treasurer. Betty, is that, do we have to make a nomination for you, or is that just in the bylaws? I don't know that one.
It says appointments on here. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the chair would entertain a motion for, assistant treasurer.
I'll motion for the city administrator.
Okay, we have a motion for the city administrator. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I will vote yes. Motion carries for the motion, 0 against. And go to the secretary. Betty, do we have, for the secretary position, is that, just by staff or?
I believe both of the secretary and assistant treasurer are staff.
Okay. So, chair would entertain a motion for the city administrator for the secretary position.
Almost.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? I'll second. We have a second by Commissioner Wagner. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Call the question.
Aye.
Aye. And I will vote yes. Motion carries 4-0. Pete, I will let you take over the rest of the meeting since you're the new president.
I'm not ready.
Okay, then I will finish. All right, we'll go to the director and secretary's report. City administrator,
I have nothing this evening.
excellent.
Thank you.
Other business, housing, update from Bolton and Mink. I don't believe we're prepared for that one quite yet.
Commissioner, Groba and commissioners of the EDA, Kelly Myers and I have been working with Bolton Mink. They do have a sample website, not a website, but a mapping and information in regards to exactly when somebody wants to do a project, whether, you know, they want to do a building or housing, different items. They're prepared on the page so they can have drop downs to find checklists of what they're wanting to do and the exact things they need to do and who to contact. So that will be coming live shortly. And also with that is a list of, you guys have seen this in the past, the tentative list of properties within the city of International Falls that we own that are available for sale and development. And so then we provide all the information, background information, so they can know how to start that process as well. And with the beginning of this, we'll be inviting in like private property owners, if they choose, they can put a disclaimer that, you know, it's not the city's property, but if they want to contact somebody, if somebody is interested in putting their property on that map as well, to promote development within our community on that map. So we are working very diligently on that. Kelly also just showed his planning commission last week, or the end of last week or beginning of the fall or previous, this document as well. So we're very close to be putting an iVote on our website, so people have that information out there for your text.
How fast, how quickly is that updated? If someone wanted to get onto that site in 6 months because they have property that's available, how easy is it?
It's very easy. It's going to be it's a very simple process now going forward, as far as we need to, you know, obviously we have to have a release from them in order to promote it. And then we working with our GIS individuals, they can highlight it and we'll have all the background information on the property prior to putting it on there. So it's just very streamlined, easier process. Yes.
Excellent. All right. Next item on the agenda is approve or requesting specification bid package for the 2023 interior wall painting and carpet replacement as per the GSA lease. Just some really quick background on the Voyageurs National Park building. We have been fortunate enough that we do a lot of upkeep on the building. We have not been pressured by the Voyageurs National Park to do any of the stuff that is in the lease, because we do more cleaning. We keep up the facility. We're very, very good landlords on that. However, one of the things that has come up that needs to get done, and is part of the monies that are saved through our lease, is the wall painting and carpet replacement. So at this time, we're asking to get a specification and a bid package together for that project. Chair would entertain a motion to approve that bid package and specification for those that work. We have a motion by Commissioner Bowler. We have a second. Second by Commissioner Wagner. Discussion, please.
If I may, thank you, Commissioner Groba. The DSA loan outlines a lot of these things when they developed this whole process. When we started this lease with them, their payment comes in and it is allocated in 6 different funds at U.S. Bank. They hold the funds, they distribute them, and when their payment comes in, we have 6 different accounts that is distributed into. This account that will cover these expenses is a reserve for capital outlay. We have a general maintenance account, general maintenance and operations. we have debt service, we have fees, then there's one more. There's 5 and 6, there's one more. But those are all set up within the agreement with GSA. And when the park was, starting this process. So this is something designed and laid out within the agreement. We have been fortunate, as Mayor indicated, that we have done a good job of general maintenance on a regular basis, that we did not have to replace them in the 5 to 7 years that, they kind of outlined, but they are definitely needing and wanting that done. So that's what we're planning on doing.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes, motion carries 4-0. Next, we have Paul Nevenin from EDA to discuss and talk about grant funding for EDA.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, or is it proper? I mean, you're the president, Chairman.
No, I'm just Commissioner.
You're the new president. I'm sorry.
He's training wheels right now.
Well, thank you first of all for getting me on the agenda. I know it was a late addition, and I'm serving on these boards. I know that's not always optimal, but there is a little bit of urgency. Well, there is fair amount of urgency, and that's why I'm here tonight. And I've been alerting the key board now in the last 2 meetings that we are running into uncharted waters in terms of where we're at in terms of our funding. And just to provide some context, I know some of the commissioners are not very familiar with key operations. We get funding through 2 primary sources: IRRB, which provides about $90,000 a year to the county, and we get funding through that. And then our coal testing operations. We have encountered this in the past, but this year it was really exacerbated by a number of things. But because the funding from our coal testers is, some of them are run 90-day terms, we run into this challenge of cash flow. And I've been doing this for 23 years now, and we've always managed it. And that's due in large part to our team and Kyra and our on the ground team. But we really ran into, and I'm sure you're seeing this everywhere too, this increased expenses are just off the chart. We tried to budget for it, but we couldn't anticipate all these charges. Very expensive. And then we also took out a loan from both the city and the county for our last coal box, and that was structured over 5 years, 5 payments, and we made our 4th payment this year. And at looking back, we would have asked for forgiveness for 1 more year, push that out to provide some ease in managing the cash flow. So what I provided you, and I didn't want to overwhelm you with just numbers here, but I put together some February estimated expenses. And remember, all those, we have not since 2010 received any money from the city or the county. We're the only EDA that I know in the state or the Midwest that is fully funded without local government support. So I just needed to put that in there again for context, but I provided some estimates of expenses and then some revenue. Some of those are some of our customer when our expected payments will receive them. And these are estimates. It could, but we've been doing this long enough. I'm confident that our estimates are probably fairly close here. So as we were looking ahead, and again, I warned the key board that we're going to be short. And I initially budgeted. I thought we'd make it through February. We might need some bridging in March, but again, with the increased expenses and the primary customer is on 90-day terms, we're not going to get paid till end of February, first part of March. So it puts us in a real bind, and frankly, an uncomfortable bind for us. Again, having done this for some time and finding ourselves in this position. So we requested that we would get bridge funding from the city EDA and then repay as those funds came through our customer base. The good news is we are booked through March at our test facility. We've had to turn customers away this year again. Our test season typically runs from mid-November through mid-March. We incurred a lot of expenses in October and November to run up to the season this year. So it's all perfect storm of events find us in a cash poor position here as we start the year. So we're looking for basically 2 months worth of funding to cover these expenses. Rounding down would be $100,000 to both pay for EDA operational expenses as well as whole testing expenses. And again, after March, our season concludes and expenses are greatly reduced. So, you know, and good news is, again, we're booked. We've got funding out there that we've invoiced for these, and we can't invoice until after the test program is concluded. So that's also another part of this timing issue that we have to wait but we do have POs generated from all of these folks, and all of these people to it are repeat customers. So it's not like we're having to reinvent the wheel with any of these folks. But anyway, that's where we're at today. And again, apologies for getting on the agenda late, but we have been talking about this internally at KEDA, and just wanted to present that to you tonight for consideration.
So before we have any discussion, I guess my first question would be to the city administrator. Where are we sitting? Do we even have the capability or to do a 3-month one?
I believe the EDA can. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we had enough funds in the account, because I hate to say yes and then be like, well, where are we getting? So I just, before we even had the conversation, I just want to make sure that, and that's would not hurt us in any capacity with anything that we have moving forward in our projects.
Not out of the EDA.
No.
Okay, just want to clarify. So at this time, the chair would entertain, not even entertain motion, open up for discussion. If anyone wants to.
Maybe like 20% interest.
That's a good question. 20% interest?
I actually, the request would be interest free.
You don't have to answer it.
But the last loan, our toolbox loan, we did pay 2% interest back to this.
So, back in funding, IRRBG was how much?
Approximately $90,000. It's based on formula, and we get that. We typically receive that in end of October, November, so it's late. The funding for this year came in November. Yeah. So.
Did you get it this with the budget debacle? That didn't affect that. You got that money this year?
Yeah, it was a little delayed, but we got it. It was down slightly. The production was down, but it's always a reflection of how well the stagnate industry is.
Okay. So you want February and March is what we're looking at, right?
Yeah, I mean, what's that?
2 months.
2 months, basically, yeah.
108,000.
I would round it down to 100,000, and in the meantime, we may be getting some payments, but we're just basing it on historical that we're not going to see. Typically, there's 60 days, but a couple of these are 90 days. Last year, one of our customers took 6 months to pay us.
Yeah.
So it's not an ideal situation, but that's where we're at.
Any questions?
Well,
Please.
Just out of curiosity, you're indicating that some of these are 90 days or until the program of the grant is completed, in which or the program that they're doing. Is there any way, like the next time you negotiate these, to change that to help alleviate your situation?
We've already had, and remember, these are big global corporations, and we're a very, very small vendor. In fact, one of these customers has a third party that processes their payables, and it's in Slovenia, I believe, or whatever. So when you put in a call to Slovenia, it's a little tricky. We've asked our engineering, leads for helping us, but we are negotiating with one of our, big ones that, and we've been doing business with them for over 15 years to help alleviate by actually invoicing monthly. Because, a couple of these customers, are actually having programs all winter long. And we broke the PO into two parts, but that was what our suggestion be going forward. We just every month, so we don't have to, wait at the very end. Yeah. And as I said, in the past, we've always managed to, it was always tight and close, but we've always managed to get there, and fortunately.
So with, if this is just a patch to get through till the money comes in, and then we're already pulling from the money that's about to come in, what's the finances looking for 2024?
We've had this discussion too, that we are going to have to go back to the city and county. We're going to have to go back to the city and county for some sort of support funding. It's probably going to be at a smaller level, but and we can get creative about this because we pay the airport commission $26,000 a year for each deploy. Maybe we could fulfill that for a year, or come in and ask both bodies for $25,000, which that's about EDA is about $25,000 a month as a budget. But Joanne Smith now has left, so that will alleviate some of that and bring our budget down, our strength down. But we are going to have to at some point in the future look for supplemental funding.
I have a whole bunch of other questions I'd like to ask, necessarily you. So I guess at this time, if no one has any questions for Paul, I would entertain a motion to approve or deny the request.
I make a motion to approve the request.
Okay, we have a motion to approve their request in the tune of $100,000. And just to be clear, when would that be paid back?
As you can see in that with the expected revenues, I would think in that April timeframe.
By May?
By May.
Okay, so we have a motion for $100,000 to be paid back by May. We have a second by Commissioner Bullard. Any discussion?
Just that we're all kind of in this together, right? And the money's there, and I think, yeah, we can help them and
I think it's
structure. That's a good case because we don't want to have problems losing the do come here, and the more accommodating they can be, and then we're have to stay and help the whole big picture.
They spend money in town.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yes, yeah, and no, I think this is a good.
Domino effect there that is important that we keep going.
I think it's good use of the money that we have, seeing as we don't have any projects, and I'm sure we'll get our money back.
Do we have a particular list of where this money will come from? Or
Well, it would.
IFEDA have
The EDA has one line item, on your, monthly budget sheets that you get, financial
Yep.
statements you get. No, that's not that one, the city monthly, because it's a fund within the city's financial, so you see it every month, it's gonna be Fund 208
Okay.
on that documentation.
Do you know what's in there right now?
Now, off the top of my head, I know there's more than that in there.
Yes.
I'm newly appointed treasurer.
Right?
Before I start going over.
I don't know if there's a fund balance or hooked on to that one.
New treasurer spends $100.
The two newly elected guys giving away money.
Yeah. What's in there? Yeah. Okay. That's it. I think.
Would you be putting any interest for details of writing this up? Are you putting an interest rate on it?
Here, I would say, no, without
I would think,
request.
yeah, I don't think we need.
Nice work.
Thanks, man.
I think we had a friendly 8 to 0.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, so we have a motion and a second, for $100,000 loan to be paid back in May. Call the question.
Aye.
I,
I'll vote yes, motion carries 4-0. Thank you all.
Thank you so very much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
Then I'll be ready to take the reins next time.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
All right, without having any other, anything else on the agenda, this meeting is adjourned. And Pete, I think I need you to sign a whole bunch of the, yes, make him sign on them.
Yeah, yes.
this was in my.
Oh, no.